Alright, y'all, welcome to a new episode to the D-Rob Show. Don't mind my boy, that's Zay in the background, he's practicing. Hold on. Today, I'm keeping it short and simple. There was somebody that came up to me and they asked me, you're like one of the biggest, people around campus. Do a lot of work here. I want to know, like, with photography and all that. What is the one thing you could tell somebody who's like, what's your reason why? Like, everybody has a why for everything. What's your reason why want to be successful, want to give out to the world, your podcast, what you want to do, what's the stuff you want to do. Give me like 1 second, actually. Hold on. All right. We're back. So like I was saying, someone came up to ask me, what's your reason why you wanted to start, a podcast? What's your reason why you want to be successful? Like, basically, why do you have a why for everything you're doing? My reason why I wanted to start this podcast, honestly, because I've been influenced by a lot of podcasts. The Ricky Smiley Morning Show podcast. It was kind of like a morning show podcast. I always used to listen to it when it'd be on the radio. And, it kind of inspired me because it's like, he has a comedic taste. He has a comedic, I guess, like, flavor to it. I don't know if that's the right terminology for for the thing, but I want to add a little bit more of like my character to show like who I am, what I do, because a lot of people say I'm pretty funny for somebody, and having a podcast would be pretty dope. And I was like, yeah, I'm down to do one. I just need the equipment and whatnot. And my reason why, to be honest, it's like a getaway from, you know, what mainly most people not. I'm not doing it off of what people assume, but I want it to be another thing I do more than me just being one thing. To be honest, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. I mean, you're not perfect at one thing. I'm just perfect. I'm just good at a few things. I don't want to be good at just one thing and one thing only. Like photography, I'm like I'm really good at it. I know what I'm doing. I know a lot about it. But it's like basketball, I'm pretty decent. I'm not the best at it, but I'm decent enough to know the game, play the game. I don't want to be terrible in one, great in the other, and then I just leave the other one in the past. That's not what I want to do. I want to be able to be. I'm getting my words mixed up a lot, and I don't know if I'm really expressing or explaining how, um, explaining it clearly enough. Um, I don't want to be. I don't. I'm not a person who wants to be an expert at one thing, and then everything else I'm just like, nah, I'm okay. I want to be good at multiple things without being an expert in one. Even though a lot of people want you to be like, oh, if you're going to do this, stick with this, see where it goes on. Like throughout my life, I've been through more than just one thing. Like if I was doing like when I was younger, I was doing basketball, but I was also doing karate on the side. When I got to like middle school or high school, I might have did basketball, but I was also doing drumline, or I was doing photography, or I was in marching band, or I was in another club, another sport. What I'm saying is, I'm tying that into my career as well. I want to be a photographer. I do. But on the side, I do video editing, my podcast, photo editing. I do a lot. What I'm saying is that my reason why I'm doing this is because I have a lot of talent. I have a lot of skills that I can put into anything. If I put my mind to it, I can do it. I don't want to expert be an expertise photography over my podcast and my video editing, because that's what I kind of do a little bit, because I'm hard like I already missed like 2 episodes that I was supposed to record, so I already know. um, but dang, I forgot what I was about to say. Um, I just want to. I feel like I'm repeating myself, and it's just like I don't know. This podcast, I want to take it serious for my like if I want to do a business and make it something like a big show or something. I want to take this seriously as a job, and that's what I'm trying to treat this as. It's like a job. I gotta do this. If I don't do it, then you're gonna have problems down the line. But even though I'm trying to balance this out with school, it's kind of difficult. So that's why I take days off from the podcast or weeks, because schoolwork is balanced between it, and nothing's coming over than my studies. Because at the end of the day, I'm a student first. It's just like how I was an athlete. I'm still an athlete. Student comes first before athlete. Your grades are more important than you being a sport head or athletic person. And that also ties in my reason why. I want to have a good grade. I want to have good grades to go into a good job. Like, if I end up, um, I want to end up working at a decent job or like one of the top best positions in the world. Like, my whole dream goal after this is to become a special effects animator. I already know how to do most of the video editing. I know how to do a lot of stuff, but I want to do stuff for videos, like movies, even TV shows. I want to be that person to be like, yo, I could do this, and I could do this as well. You can put me anywhere you want me to, and I'll adapt to it. That's how I am with technology, and that's where I want to be at life. Is where I'm not an expert at one thing. I can do multiple things and adapt to the whole environment. That's why I call myself the jack of all trades, because I'm decent or good. Not even decent. I'm well, no, decent's mediocre. I'm above par, I guess. I don't know. That's also mediocre. I mean, it's like I'm pretty good at a multiple things. I just can't be good at just one thing. That's what it is. That's what I was looking for. And that's my kind of my reason why I started a podcast. I started a bunch of all of this. Worked here, did this, did that. In the long run, I'm just trying to um, not be an expert specifically. I want to be. I'm just repeating myself. I don't know. um, my reason. I'm just repeating myself. Um, I'm gonna just say it. Just I don't know. This is like explaining this is weird to me. It's like I know what I want to say, but it's difficult to say in my case. Because when I say something, I tend to explain it, but not thoroughly explain it, if you understand. Like, I'll tell you and explain to you what it is, but sometimes you won't get what I mean. And then when I say something that I don't mean, then it looks crazy. So, like I said, the main reason why I have this podcast is for my business. I'm trying to treat it like a business. I'm trying to teach it like a job. But I want to use this as another getaway to show people I could do something else than just basketball, photography, being a leader outside of the community, a community worker. This is another thing. And, you know, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to dislike what you're doing or are jealous of, like, the opportunities you're getting or whatnot. Because that was the other thing the person asked me. He was saying, what's some advice for people who are trying to start up a business, but they're already getting downed by other people or getting overlooked? One thing I tell somebody, even though I haven't gone through the full experience, like, overall myself, but I have experienced it before, not through basketball, but no, not through like photography, digital wise. I felt it through, like, I hit my foot. Sports, being compared to my dad for years, it was kind of like, I guess I don't have a name for myself. Everybody just knows me as, Little Stretch, whatnot. Still to this day, I still get called it. It doesn't affect me like that. Unless you're downing me to make it look like I can't do the same stuff as what my dad does, or saying, "Oh, your dad's great, but I could take your spot anyway," or "You're just getting it because of your dad." I've heard that. It's been squashed. I mean, I still hear stuff through this day about it, which I don't understand why. But if anyone's going through something like that, my advice is you can't listen to everybody. Or you listen to it, but don't let it affect you and just move on and just prove them wrong. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have haters. Or you're going to have people that's going to dislike you. You're going to have people who want to be in your position and think it's unfair that they're not in your position. But the way to show them is to outwork them, no matter where you're at. You gotta outwork them, because if you don't, you ain't gonna be able to get that spot you want, and then they're gonna be the one stepping up. That's why a lot of people is like, and no matter where you're at, who you're at, there's somebody else on out in the same world, out in the world, doing the same thing you want to do, but putting in the work. You want to outwork them, put in the more work than they're doing. And that's how I felt through basketball, and I transitioned that into photography and whatnot. Because there's a lot of people that work on photography. There's a lot of photographers out in this world. There could be like 1,000,000 photographers out in this world. If you're not working on your craft, what are you doing? If you're not gonna go, try to get opportunities outside and go, like, even taking photos of your friends. If you're not taking no photos of your friends or getting any opportunities to work on, photography or whatnot, why would you pick up a camera? The only thing I can really say is that when you put your mind to something, you want to keep it, unless you just say, I'm not feeling it no more. If you're not feeling it, then just don't do it. You can always stop. Everybody has their opinions to everything. If you don't feel like if you're confident in yourself doing it, even if you have the stuff to do it, if you don't feel confident, you don't have to force yourself to do it. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work to have a podcast, because there's a lot of controversial things people say that could get them canceled, and that was the thing I had to learn through this podcast. Even when I first started, I said some things that weren't very. It wasn't me. It was me, but it was speaking out of stress. It wasn't like the real, like, how I am now. It was just like I was talking about the past and how I felt, and it was just a lot of stress built up from the past that I wanted to let out. It wasn't right, but I have to move on from it. I apologize to the people I've hurt. I apologize to everyone that, you know, who heard the stuff on it. I apologize. But you can't let a lot of people bring you down, even though I don't. You can't let people bring you down and stop you from being successful and what's making you happy. None of the people did make me down when the first episode came out, but I wasn't confident after I hurt the people that I loved, in a sense. Because I heard a lot of people that, who looked up to me, not even looked up to me. Some did. Some of them looked up to me because of how successful I was through like having people who knew, like having connections, having all that. But people that like I'm very, very close with, I was hurting them in a way. And I didn't feel confident because I felt like I was going to hurt more and more people down the line with the podcast. But I had to hear it from a lot of people to tell me whatever you say on your podcast, excuse me, whatever you say on your podcast is how you feel. So whatever how you feel, whatever is said on that mic is gonna be said regardless. You can't take it back. Kind of. You can't take it back. Like once a video is posted, you really can't take it back because it's already somewhere online. So no matter what you do, you just gotta watch what you say. Keep it to a minimum. Because you don't want to keep hurting the people that you call so much of your family or your friends. You don't want to be that type of person where you're lying to somebody's face, even though you're not face to face, but you're watching them do a YouTube video. You don't want it to be like you're telling a lie, but you're being a whole, like, basically, don't two-face it. Don't lie on camera and show people, who you really are, but then switch it and be a whole nother person in person. You could be mean on camera or just be nice on camera and be mean in person, and it could be vice versa. Basically, be the person who you are. Do not try to be like somebody else. Don't try to change who you are. Just be one person and be confident in what you're doing, because confidence gets you a lot in life. It gets you whatever job you want, in a sense, because a lot of times confidence doesn't work. It's the hard work. It's the confidence and the hard work. A lot of people love confidence because they want to have confident people in their staff directory. But if you're not confident in yourself to be confident out on the work field, what are you there for? Because most of your hard work comes from confidence. You got to believe in yourself before you get on TV or anything. Or behind a video camera. Well, not even behind, in front of a video camera. And that's what a lot of people are nervous about. A lot of people don't have confidence when it comes down to making YouTube videos or a podcast or a vlog channel. They just like to take photos, and that's what they'll just post them. Not a lot of people like to do videos or talk, because a lot of people just, they're not the type of person to talk behind a camera. I keep saying behind. I'm so used to being behind a camera, so it's like I'm saying behind, in front of a camera. And I had to get out of that phase, because sometimes I'll be scared in front of a camera. I think when I was doing this one video, it was this Smarty Bus app we was doing a video of like a commercial of it. I was scared to do it because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. But I grew out of that maybe like the day of. I was so extroverted when I was younger, so it was easy. Me now, I'm just an ambivert now. I'm either introverted, extroverted. It's at different times. It's how I'm feeling. But my advice, I'm just talking now, but I'm gonna wrap it up here with this last thing, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm just yapping and I'm just saying a whole bunch of stuff at one point, and it doesn't seem like it's like correlating. I have a reason why I do a lot of stuff, and that reason why ties into my confidence in all this. I mean, the door is broken. My confidence is very important when it comes down to my work. As a photographer, you gotta have confidence. You gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta talk for yourself. You won't get opportunities if you don't go out to the real world and talk to people. Like you could pick up a camera and think it's easy, but you gotta talk to people. You gotta know people, because not every photographer knows everything in the world. You can learn something new every day if you talk to people. That's why me being in this position where I'm at now, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of skill. It doesn't come easy. If it came easy, everybody in this world would be doing it. But you don't see everybody in the world doing it, because not everybody's allowed. Not a lot of people like to show their face. Not a lot of people like to show their voice. A lot of people like to hide. I'm not calling out anybody. Meaning like they just don't want to show that side of them, I guess you want to say. They're just nervous to really show their real side. So they try to put it behind something else where they can show their personality but not show what they look like, or what they sound like. And to do this like on yourself, to work by yourself, in a sense, I'm kind of working by myself, but at least I'm having people who's helping me as well. But to work by yourself, to do things by yourself, it takes a lot of skill, because you always have you always get doubt, excuse me, you always doubt yourself, regardless. Um, Everybody has doubts about themselves, ifs, ands, or buts about it. Someone's always gonna have a doubt about. Someone's gonna wait. What? You're always gonna have somebody. Oh my gosh. Oh. I'm trying to get my words together. You're always gonna have doubts about yourself. Sometimes you may doubt if you're gonna be able to do it. Sometimes you may doubt if this is right for you. But doubt comes without doubt comes with not being confident. If you're doubting yourself, you're not confident in yourself. That's why I'm not an expert at everything. And that's what I want people to know. Me, that's my kind of my reason why. It ties back into my reason why. Because if I was only confident in one thing, the other stuff I wouldn't have done. Like, if I was just confident in basketball, I wouldn't have done photography. I would have done like this or video editing. But because I was confident in myself, I'm like, yeah, I could do this. I know how to do this. I just need the equipment, need to do all this, and I could do it. That's what you have to start with. And yeah, you might have to do it in front of a small audience to get the little taste of it, or get a little like performance going on. But it's like the same thing that it goes with like artists, like, and NBA players, because a lot of NBA players get the controversies and they get talked about a lot. They get downed a lot. They take it the most out of anybody. Even influencers. Anybody that's famous, you gotta set a tone for yourself. And they get talked a lot. They get talked about a lot, no matter where you're at in this world. You could be talked about online, in person, over the phone, on stream. Like, there's no way you're not gonna be able to be talked about. And that's what a lot of people are scared. They don't want to hear negative things about themselves. So when they hear something negative, they want to give up. I've heard so many negative things. Nothing's gonna stop me doing this. Nothing's gonna stop me from doing this, doing photography, basketball. Nothing's stopping me. I mean, I may let it get into my head a little bit, but it's not gonna make me stop playing. It's not gonna make me stop working because I haven't gotten to that goal yet. For basketball, I've reached my goal. I reached where I wanted to be at. And I'm proud of where I ended off at. However, there's new goals on the table that I want to have. And that's the other thing. Setting goals for yourself. That's the most important. Because you want to know where you want to go. How far can you go till you sit there and you drop? Like, if there's a certain spot where I have to drop and I have to stop, bars, then that's what it is. But nothing's stopping me from working on myself, doing the things that I love, and doing a lot more. But that's all gonna be for it. That's all gonna be for today. I will be doing this again Friday. I'm not sure who I'm gonna have on stream yet, but we'll find out. If you haven't, tell your friends, family members, students. I don't know. Tell them to come tune in onto the podcast. I appreciate it.
Tune into the streams. Tune into the streams. Tune into the streams. Tune in to the streams.
That's my boy Zay. Yeah. I appreciate y'all watching.